has really been surfaced most profoundly as of two speeches that Prime Minister Netanyahu gave this past year. Prime Minister Netanyahu was claiming a mantle of the right to speak on behalf of the Jewish people, independent of whether that warrant or right had actually been granted to him by those people. For Prime Minister Netanyahu, the point was, the right to speak on behalf of the people is not merely something that is gained by a legal structure, but the right to speak on behalf of a people is also a paternalistically legitimate claim. I can speak on your behalf because what I think I'm doing is in your best interest, even if you claim in response to me that I would rather you not do it. I felt in this moment that there was something deeply off about the way the community was conducting this conversation about the right of the Prime Minister of Israel to speak on behalf of the Jewish people. And I want to situate this argument on the basis of an important Jewish idea that I'm not sure we fully are conscious of, which is the radical and significant ways in which the State of Israel has transformed what it means to be a Jew in the world. All of our activity prior to the State of Israel is intrinsically local. Well, now we have a platform. We have the greatest platform, for instance, that the Jewish people have ever had to do tikkun olam, to do repair of the world. And so even though paradoxically tikkun olam is thought of as being an American Jewish domestic agenda, the State of Israel is actually the strongest instrument to make that possible. And so we actually want leaders to stand up and represent the State of Israel on the world stage, in the Jewish communal stage, and with other Jews, in order to make serious claims that are possible for Jewishness that have otherwise not been the case. What was missing in the Netanyahu moment was an awareness by Israeli leadership that what was useful to Prime Minister Netanyahu for his own agenda, that is, catalyzing the Republican base in Congress towards the Iran deal, was actually deeply divisive to the Jewish polity in America. And what was damaging was less, from my perspective, the right of the Prime Minister to stake a claim that a particular position was the interest of the Jewish people, but playing American Jews against each other. So when we think about this question of who speaks for the Jews, the first set of questions we have to ask is, by what merit does somebody have the right to make that claim? And I want to offer that Zionism has to challenge us to take seriously that the elected leader of the State of Israel might have the right to make that claim, and empirically that we as Jews in the world have interests in which we want people to speak on our behalf. So it's both a Jewish interest and an empirical interest. But I'm challenging that even if we allow people to speak in our name and with our interests in mind, that we have to outline a series of ethical considerations that have to be taken much more seriously. An absence of self-interest, a willingness to actually listen and correlate to the needs of the people, a willingness to take moral risks on behalf of the people, and a challenge to do so in a way that is consistent with the needs of the people and not their own self-interest.